This is the SIPPC, the Self-Initiated Prone Progressive Crawler. It's designed to allow or facilitate baby movement on the floor, to teach them to crawl. It's typically applied to children with disabilities. That's what it was designed for, kids with cerebral palsy.
I noticed that a lot of these babies, when they were in the NICU, they move a little bit. They move, they kick, they move, they kick. But what happens is that as they get older, the ones with CP started to show less movement and less kicking. And then the movements got less and less and less. So the idea was, if we can find a way to harness the movements that these babies are doing early, and then reward that, because babies only move if they're successful.
The shape is contoured so that they rest in the center with their trunk, and then there are straps that go across and hold them in place. What's underneath the box is the brains of this device. And what it does is react to the baby's movement. Any subtle positional change in this causes it to turn on and help them with that movement.
So we had a group of babies, and we tested that on them, and Dr. Pitko flew to Oklahoma to come and look at that and work with me, and we finally decided that how much assistance we need and how much of the movements. And also remember that babies don't go in the direction you want them to go. So we had to observe babies to see how do they go to the right, how do they go to the left, so that the device can respond to that. We really relied heavily on the information we got from babies to design this. We couldn't have designed it without the babies.
Well, why a kid with cerebral palsy would need this? They in many cases are motorically challenged, and what that means is when they try to move, their muscles fight that movement. So rather than do a coordinated crawling activity, they would much rather just roll over on their backs and look at the ceiling. It's very difficult for them to do.
We tested it with a group of children with cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and the ones who were typically developing. So we looked at the children with cerebral palsy to say how much of an assistance do they need. When we finished that study, the results showed that, one, that we can use it in the home and the babies can tolerate it. Two, that the children were really starting, after several weeks of training, were starting to recognize the assist.
As they start to engage the device and it reacts to them, their exploration areas get larger and larger, and their time of activity during a 30-minute session, for instance, becomes larger. They're not just sitting, they're starting to move. The parents are always very excited when they see this child move for the first time. So far, we've shown some pretty good evidence that it works. We've seen kids expand their area of exploration as a result of being powered when they do it. Kids who aren't crawling are able to explore and taste and reach and handle things that they wouldn't be able to.
So now we were ready to include the suit. The suit's role was just to capture every little pedaling, every arm movement, capture that, harness that, and tell the SIPPC, oh, they're trying to move forward. They're trying to go sideways. So the baby could use the suit to move, the sensor suit, to move without touching the floor, which was perfect for babies with cerebral palsy because it takes them a long time to generate enough strength to push up. But it doesn't take them much to kick. So as they pedal, they go forward.
And the parents get really engaged. They start to get down on the floor with the toys and get the kids moving.
I think it's amazing, the movements they can track, and they can figure out, like the kids, if they lean a little bit, it'll lift up, and so it really teaches the kids what their movement does. So the technology's been kind of incredible that way.
Really, the SIPPC is not just an instrument, it's the package of the user, they use the device, together they make the SIPPC. And so to see this being recognized by other people as really very innovative was a wow. This is innovative, it's one of a kind.